Well, Proverbs chapter 7, we're continuing on in this analogy of using women, femininity as a symbol or metaphor for understanding the lure of sin and temptation in our lives. But again, I think there's some good analogies and things for us to look at literally with this as well as figuratively. So, ladies, I would like you to share in the comments as well. How do you interpret this chapter? Because we're going to talk about two different kinds of women today. And again, it's more figuratively as well as we go along, because this is a man teaching his son about sin and temptation, using the metaphor of women to help him understand some of these things. But if from women, what do you learn? How would you flip this around so it would be more appropriate for a, a mother teaching her daughter about sin and temptation, maybe, or something like that? I'd love to hear you in the comments what you think of this, and we can discuss it and converse more with it there. So, verse 1, my son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. Keep my commandments and live, and my law as the apple of thine eye. And that's something we've heard before. The apple of my eye is a little idiom that we hear sometimes. This is an Old Testament one. It says here that this phrase is one of many commonly used expressions that come from the Old Testament. The phrase is also found in Deuteronomy 32:10, Psalms 17:8, and Lamentations 2:18. The word apple, however, refers not to the fruit, but to the pupil of the eye. The idiom suggests that just as the eye is a sensitive organ requiring care and protection, so is the law precious and worthy of protection. So not just think of the commandments as commandments or those weird things that my mom and dad want me to do or God wants me to do. Don't take them lightly. Take them serious. Understand them. Preserve them. Take care of them. Take them serious. I don't know. I was trying to come up with another way to say that, but that's the important thing. Okay? That's what they're trying to get across to us. So let's jump to verse 3. Bind them upon thy fingers, write them upon the table of thine heart. So this is that idea of internalizing the scriptures, binding them to your fingers, that the phylacteries that were bound around people is a great way to think about that. So those are some things, that in the Old Testament, of course from the Old Testament, Law of Moses, they had the little leather box, they had the Ten Commandments in them, and they would have the big leather strap that wrap around their hand to have them. They have the phylacteries where they put the leather box up on their forehead and strap it to their head as a reminder that of the commandments. Always have them with you. Keep them on your mind. Keep them with you. Make them a part of you, basically, is what they're getting at there. Verse 4, say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman. So this is an important thing because this is your sister. So a woman is wisdom, Sophia. We see this still connected. The wisdom, understanding wisdom and truth is something that is connected with women. And it will help you. In fact, verse 5 it says that they may keep thee from the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. So use your wisdom, use as a sister, keep her with you close by to help you, because there are some women, there are some false information, temptations and sins out there that will want to come for you. And if you know wisdom and take care of wisdom and have wisdom with you, then the false stuff will fall away and you won't be sucked into it as well. So this is a really great analogy, not just about immorality and impurity, but learning how to follow true wisdom and not fake wisdom. A lot of great stuff we can pick up in this. So verse 5, I just read that one. Verse 6, for at the window of my house I looked through my casement. Now imagine this, okay? This is like we're in a movie. We see this person, the son father talking to his son about this important point. And he turns and he looks out his window. And as he looks out the window, the camera gazes out the window too. And we see what he sees. And that's what we're going to go into is this story. He says, verse 7, and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding. So he did not have wisdom with him. His sister wasn't there to help him, basically. Verse 8, passing through the street near her corner. So he didn't have his sister, Wisdom, with him, and so the other woman, he's coming near this strange woman. And he went the way to her house. So as he's walking down the road, he goes to pass by her home. Verse 9, now in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night. So now we see it's nighttime as he's walking by this strange woman's house. Verse 10, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot, and subtle of heart. She is loud and stubborn, her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. So she's not inside the home. She's outside the home, where she probably shouldn't be in at night. Verse 13, so she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me this day. I have paid my vows. So what that means is she tries to portray herself as a good person. It's okay. I'm okay. We're good people. It's okay. Verse 15, therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee. So she's like, it's okay for us to talk to each other. I've paid my vows. I've done my oblations. I went to church. I did the things I'm supposed to do. I'm a good person, and I'm here to talk with you. So now she's focusing her efforts on that person. She gave him a kiss, so let him have something for free, gave something away to entice him in. And then in verse 16 says, I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. So probably Hebrew for indicating fragrant woods and things. So she's saying, I have made my bed amazing. Beds back then weren't much, honestly. Sleeping on the ground was not an uncommon thing. So having this amazing bed with tapestries around it and sweet smelling stuff going on, she's got this huge, amazing environment in there. Like, ooh, wow, that's amazing. And she says in verse 18, come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. So she's, come sleep with me. Let's commit adultery. Let's have sexual immorality, basically. Let's come in to, it's okay. I'm a good person. You're a good person. We're good people. We're okay. And why is this important? Verse 19, for the good man is not at home. He is gone a long journey. He hath taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. So he's not coming home for a while. We're okay. So this is kind of that, if we don't get caught, it's okay. Now, John C. Bennett used this same kind of idea when he did his spiritual wifery thing in the early 1800s in the LDS Church. If you've heard of those stories, he basically, in essence, would tell women that they could be spiritually connected to each other for the night, and it's okay so long as nobody finds out. If nobody finds out, there's no punishment. Of course, God always knows, and you'll eventually get punished anyways. Like we learned in the last chapter, the angels are always watching. But that's the analogy, is no one's going to know. It's okay. If we never get caught, it'll be fine. It's not bad if we don't get caught. So that's what happens here. Now, verse 21, with her much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. So she basically manipulated this young man to convince him to come in to sleep with her. Verse 22, he goeth after her straightway, as an ox goeth to the slaughter, or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver, and as a bird hasteth to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. So you don't realize this is a trap that's going to destroy my life until the trap releases and you're caught. This is what sin does to us. This is what we have to be careful with temptations and things, is it draws us in, makes it sound amazing and nice, and then destroys us. That's important. We could look at the whole idea of Pinocchio, the Treasure Island. They went out there, they had freedom, they had all the stuff they ever wanted. And why? Because they took the boundaries away to make it sound alluring. Then they trapped everybody and destroyed their life. This is how sin and temptation and wickedness works. So let's go into verse 24 here. He says, "Now hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children." So this isn't just son. We started with son at the beginning of this, and now he's going to children. So this is to everybody. "And attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart decline to her ways. Go not astray in her paths," meaning the wicked woman here. "For she hath cast down many wounded. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death." So be careful. Sin and temptation is terrible, and we have to be really careful about this. So use wisdom, which is personified in women, and avoid the faults that's out there. So if there's two kinds of information, two kinds of women, follow the good, not the evil. And be careful, because you might not have an easy time telling them apart. You've got to make sure that you're following the commandments, following the path of Christ, to know if they're, and be humble enough to admit if you're stumbling on that path or having struggles with it, or what you're not, you need to be better at, to help you to have the Spirit with you more, to discern things better. So ladies, I look forward to hearing or reading your comments. What do you take out of this chapter? How does this chapter come across to you maybe? Or how could this chapter be phrased in a way that to teach women about sin and temptation? As well as, what do you think about when you think of these stories of women personified? And what, can there be some role playing in some things, some roles that women play in society and in life, and things that we could learn from these analogies that are used in here as well? So just your thoughts and ideas from a woman's perspective of what this chapter is like. I'm looking forward to reading those and conversing with you more in the comments about that. So look forward to those, and then let's jump over to the next one as we continue forward. This next one's one we've been anticipating for a while, so we'll see you there.